I'm Arsen. I'm the tea guy. So we thought, so what crossed my mind, I thought there are a lot of young people in the audience here who are going to graduate, and everybody have aspirations, dreams, and I'm sure plans. So I think the message that I want to leave the audience with is that not every plan is going to end up exactly where you think. So you're going to have to pivot at any point in time in life, and that's what happened. So I wish I had the romantic story to tell you about how I was born in a green tea plantation somewhere in Japan, and I just got back from Japan actually just a few days ago. And my grandma makes me cups of tea, so I started a tea company. I actually have a very boring story: corporate career, technology, .com, private equity, and then all of a sudden one day in my late 20s, I just looked around and I said, "What am I doing? I'm not enjoying, I'm not having fun, and most importantly, I'm not pouring my passion into something that I want to do." So I pivoted, as sometimes people said, from IT to tea. So that's how Argo story turns into a very rational story. And people looked at me and they said, "You must be crazy, you must be stupid, you must be a lunatic," and they're right on probably on all the counts a little bit. Starting a tea company in US, we don't even know what is green tea, black tea, let alone you're going to introduce all these crazy blends. And we're a coffee company, or a coffee country, so you want to create a tea company. So we needed to figure out what is that secret recipe, right? How we're going to actually sell tea in a coffee world, in a coffee country. And so this is a very, we say, subtly, it's a deceiving recipe because it seems so simple, but we think it's pretty sophisticated in the back. And it has to start, as the slide indicates, with passion. Well, so anything you do has to be built on the values in life, and it has to be built on the values that you have a passion about. So that's a key philosophy and a message that for us at Argo, for me personally, all manifested itself as to where do you apply your energy, where do you apply your time, and in a very simple way that we described as, we said, we will be passionate about going around the world and finding these finest leaves and blending them with unique ingredients, we call them, with purpose, whether it's the juices, herbs, spices, flowers, honeys, you name it, right? And creating these unique cocktails that are based on tea. They're healthy and tasty at the same time, but most importantly, they're built on the ethical values in life and in business, that on how we work with our employees, how we work with our customers, and very importantly, how we work with the growers around the world where we buy our ingredients. A few months ago, I was in Himalayas in Darjeeling, and we were meeting with the growers, and as the tea producers are taking me through the fields and showing me on what the kids are doing in the private schools that they've built on the plantations in the tea estates while their moms are in the fields plucking the leaves, and how the private hospitals are built around the community. So by taking care of the people who take care of the seeds and the bushes and the plants, on how the cycle turns into this sustainable cycle of the perfect quality ingredients because people were being taken care of, who took care of the soil, who took care of the seeds and the plants, and all that turning into what ultimately turns for us a story of leaf to cup. So there is the depth of what we have tried over now 13 years old company. That's the other thing. People think we're a startup, but we're far not a startups. We encoded a lot of these values into the DNA of the company. And we said, that'll be the step one. It has to be the passion, and we tried the best to make sure that through our teams and our locations, experiences, and our products, we manifest that to you, our customers, and our community. The second thing for us that was important in the recipe was, let's refresh the message. All we know about tea is just a nasty Lipton tea bag that is just overbrewed, it's oversteeped, it's bitter, and grandma has to tell us you have to add all the sugar, lemon to make it taste good, and only you drink it when you're sick. Well, we said, who said that the tea can't be tasty? And it has to start with the best ingredients, but it has to also be the creativity that we can pour into creating these blends. So the green tea from Japan, Mie Prefecture, Sencha Matcha blend, blended with fresh ground ginger, a little vanilla and lemons. I know it sounds too much, but This is what makes this very unique and very simple drink that I'm holding here in my hand, green tea ginger twist, right? But the healthy definition for us became the philosophy of believing in all natural ingredients as the first foundation of the product and our company, in real ingredients, no flavorings, no additives, no preservatives, but the real ingredients that we will blend with our products. And that obviously brings the real ingredients come with real calories. So I have a team of product developers and nutritionists. They work on creating what we call smart calories. So every sip or bite of anything you drink will give you just the right balance between the carbs and sugars and fibers and proteins, whatever it is, antioxidants, vitamins that comprise the product. So between those values and creating the healthy message that this is the healthy choice, it's not about 0 calorie, it's not about zero carbs, 0 sugar. If we all drink and eat nothing, what's going to happen? We're going to die. That's what happens. It's like the car with no fuel in it, right? So it's not about if we drink calories, if we eat calories. It's about what kind of calories come into our body. And that's where the decision, and that's where we as parents, I have a 4-year-old home, so I deeply care about what she consumes. And I want her to eat and drink nutrition. And that's the core, again, of what has comprised the value and what is the healthy for us. We created these unique ingredients that created unique combinations, where the cappuccino became a tea-puccino, tea squeeze, tea sparkle, ginger twist, and so on, right? So hopefully you all been to Argos, or you bought the bottles, you've seen them. So speaking about the pivot, when I started, everyone said, well, you're just building Starbucks of tea. Apparently people still think that's what we're doing. Well, about 6 years ago, 2008, and that's the message of being flexible and pivoting again. Like the flexibility was start a tea company, going away from a very comfortable corporate career. In 2008, as the economy is falling apart and the retail is becoming very challenging, we have started to fulfill the dream of what we want to say is being Apple of tea, where the stores are building the place where we can sample the products, we can tell you the story, but we got into the consumer products business. So today we got over 40,000 stores around the country selling these bottles. So I always say, if we are the Apple of tea, this is the iPhone, right? This is the iPhone, and for us, the AT&T stores would be the Whole Foods and Walgreens and 7-Elevens, wherever you find them, right? So the experiences. There is no brand, there is no company. Again, for us, the store was the environment where we create the experience of a lab. We create the brand. We tell you the stories from leaf to cup as to what passion and authenticity we bring to the ingredient. As I said, I just came back from Japan. In a couple of months, we're going to launch a line of cold brew teas. And in Japan, we were collaborating with some of the best green tea producers around the world in Ise Bay area of the Mie Prefecture. That's about 2 hours away from Kyoto. And we're going to bring in the farmers to Chicago and to New York City, and we're going to do a series of events telling the story about what they do to grow those leaves in the environments and why it matters where we bring it and what that makes so different about the cold brew, where the cold brew will be able to extract only the certain cells from the leaves that make the sweetness that we're looking naturally in a product that we believe is the superior quality, right? Something that you hopefully will appreciate. But the most important message in all of this is linking this back, that what we a lot of times take it for granted, seeing on the shelves is just another pretty bottle or another cup that we walked into Starbucks or Argo. There is a whole life and community of millions of people going all the way to the fields, wherever it is, whether it could be in Darjeeling in India or Nepal, or it could be in a more developed country like Japan, where those communities depend on us understanding this story and by buying the products, rewarding them. So all these benefits that we perceive are kind of, as I said, we take them for granted. They flow back to those kids that are in the fields right now, or not in the fields. Their moms, their parents are in the fields, and they're in the school. And we're creating a healthy community somewhere else that is able to nurture and bring us the healthy ingredients that we, at times, just don't quite kind of pause and appreciate that all of those things had to happen for this to be possible, right? So the experience for us needed to be manifested in trying to tell the story, right? So we're in over 20 cities. We have about 60 stores, but I'm not here to brag about any of this, right? We're in Middle East also. Internationally, we've grown. So we're opening in a number of colleges. So hopefully a lot of you guys, as you graduate, you'll find us. We're in over 20-some colleges around the country, especially in Northeast New York, Massachusetts, and Southeast area. So who knows, maybe wherever you decide to go to college, you'll have your own Argo there. The balanced ingredients, we realized it's not going just to take tea. So we're not anti-coffee. People think that we hate coffee, I don't drink coffee. In fact, I started my morning today with an espresso. Many years ago, I met Riccardo Ili and Andrea Ili, the Ili family from Trieste in Italy. I fell in love with the passion that they had, and it was actually one of the precursors for starting Argo, because I saw how something that, again, we assume and we take it for granted, a bean of coffee, could actually create so much passion behind this, and generations in that family of a business that never deviates from their focus on quality. So we have, as you know, Ili coffee in our stores. And it's, for us, it's not just a veto vote, but we think, well, it's a choice. Everybody has different dietary needs, constraints, and preferences during the time of the day. So anyway, the long story short, that's kind of the next step, balancing the ingredients of this. And finally is what I think I've kept focusing on throughout this little speech, which is stirring the souls. That to us is the final step in a recipe in this. Teams, customers, our partners, suppliers, all of them. If there is no passion, there is no business. There is no business, there is no passion, there is no sustainability. We don't have the life that we enjoy. We don't have the communities that we want to consider to be part of. We believe in that, whether it's our efforts to give back through multiple efforts, charity organizations, or getting involved with the farmers and the gardens and working with them on helping them accomplish their goals to having healthy communities. So, and a lot of this, as I said, all ties back to the quality ingredients, right? Because with the choices that we can create as a community overall are helping those farmers don't take the shortcuts, don't use excessively the pesticides, don't try to maximize the dollars and cents, but rather focus on the quality while knowing that their communities are taken care of, because here in the US or in the developed world, we understand the value and we're rewarding that by purchasing their products and by purchasing their ingredients, right? So it's kind of that cycle of life that we found to be the soul, the passion, and the core of what we do at Argo. And I think a lot of many great companies in the world are starting to understand that and invest into that. So that's, I think, pretty much it. The opportunity, as I said, a little bragging side, but we're in over 20 cities. This year we'll open over 1,000 stores. We'll be at close to 60 stores, but those stores, like I said, will be for us, like for Apple, few stores in big cities or in colleges, telling the story that I just tried to share with you. And the products, the iPhones or our bottles, Tipuchinos or the green tea ginger twist, whatever they are, over 40,000 stores around the country selling them. So thank you guys. Any questions, happy to answer as well. So.